Hi. I found something that makes me think that Muslims do believe in the hadith, contrary to what they've been telling, that some have been telling me. Because I've been running into a lot of Muslims lately that, or I have been, that said that they don't believe in the hadith, they just believe what's in the Quran. That the reason why they don't believe in the hadith is because it has things like saying 1 hour of deep contemplation is better than 60 years of worship, which, if true, to me would be like the biggest, swiftest kick in, someone bowing to Mecca they could ever think of, Or take another one would be like eating 7 ajwa dates in the morning will protect you all day from both magic and poison. I'm pretty sure that they are right about thinking that that would be weakened, fabricated, or as they say, something that the Shiites believe. Because I mean, how many Muslims would take cyanide or eat poison mushrooms after eating 7 ajwa dates? Of course, I later typed in to my web browser 1 hour, eating 7 ajwa dates in the morning will protect you all day from both magic and poison. And it didn't go to the site that said 1 hour of deep contemplation is better than 6 years of worship as being a weak and fabricated hadith, like 1 hour of deep contemplation was. I also typed in, as Muhammad said, the sun sets, it prostrates to the throne of Allah before asking permission of Allah to rise again. That wasn't weak or fabricated either. But the 1 hour of deep contemplation, being better than 6 years of worship, yeah, that was considered as weak and fabricated. But then, something? I went to an Islamic center and I picked up this brochure. It shows the Muslim here with his patootie in the air, and I learned something here that just blew. It's like, whoa, maybe it's true, as Muhammad said about the 1 hour of deep contemplation being better than 6 years of worship. And the reason why is because here, I'll read it here. It says, the Prophet, praise be unto him, said, whoever finds himself in the nightfall tired of his work, God will forgive his sins. Seeking knowledge is one of the highest forms of worship. The Prophet said, quote, seeking knowledge is a religious duty on every Muslim. So, if you're a Muslim, you're watching this, that means you're seeking knowledge. You won't believe just how incredibly valuable that is. Because I'll read on here. If you're seeking knowledge as a Muslim right now, what you're doing right now is better than bowing to Mecca 5 times a day, every day, for 70 years. If you think I'm insane, this is what it says here. It says here. In another saying, he said, this is Muhammad saying, seeking knowledge for 1 hour is better than praying for 70 years. That's in here. And when I typed it in there, guess what? It didn't go to the same place that said 1 hour of deep contemplation is better than 60 years of worship. So that means that's true. And I thought, well, wait a minute. Maybe they missed that. And maybe it should be in the weak and fabricated, or as this one say, some of the Shiites believe, because maybe it just didn't make it in there. So what I did is I typed it into. I said, I typed in 1 hour of. I found out it's not 1 hour of deep contemplation. I discovered it's actually 1 hour of contemplation is better than 6 years of worship. And I discovered something of where it came from. It's a hadith, of course. And this is what it says. This will show you why I don't think it's weak and fabricated after all. Because here, read back a little bit here. Okay, a lesson on tuckus. We shall inshallah talk about one of the lessons which the Holy Prophet has taught us, and look at its emphasis in the traditions of the 6th Imam. The lesson is about what has been termed as al-tafakkur, meaning contemplation. The beauty of Islam is that it does not consist of instructions, but also invites its followers to contemplate, to reflect, and to think. And tell you, apparently it's the most important thing in the world, far better than bowing to Mecca you can ever imagine, because I'll let you know why here. The question that arises here is, what should we contemplate and think about? Firstly, to contemplate about the creations of Allah, SWT. Quote, how many signs there is in the heavens and the earth, and that they pass by while they are disregardful of it. I believe that's Quran 12:105. Contemplating on the creation of Allah, SWT, has many advantages. One of the most important things is that it leads us to recognize our Creator. If we recognize Him, we will obey Him, and if we obey Him, He will achieve success, and we'll achieve success in the world and hereafter. Miqdad was one of the close friends of Imam Ali, as once he heard a companion of the Holy Prophet saying that the Holy Prophet has said, quote, contemplating for an hour is better than the worship of 1 year. He then heard another companion saying that the Holy Prophet has said contemplating for an hour is better than 7 years of worship. He then again heard from the third companion saying that the Holy Prophet said contemplating for an hour is better than 70 years of worship. Not knowing which hadith was true, Miqdad came to the Prophet and informed him of the 3 different versions of the hadith that was being quoted by his companions. The Holy Prophet informed him that all 3 are correct. In order to prove his point, the Holy Prophet summoned up all 3 men. He asked them first, how do you contemplate? He said, Allah says in the Quran, indeed the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alteration of night and day, these are signs for those who have intellects. That'd be Quran 3:191. I too ponder of the wonders of the heaven and the earth. The Holy Prophet told him, 1 hour of your contemplation is better than worship for 1 year. So if you can think about the heavens and the earth and all that stuff, it's better than pulling out a prayer rug 5 times every day for that 1 year. He saw the second man as to how to contemplate, how he contemplated. The man said, I reflect upon death and the horror of Qiyamah. The Holy Prophet told him, 1 hour of your contemplation is better than the worship of 7 years. So if you can think about the horror of some guy named Qiyamah and what he went through, that's better than prostrating to Mecca for 7 years. But then this is really amazing. The Holy Prophet told him, 1 hour of your contemplation is better than 7. Okay. Then he asked the third man about his contemplation. The man said, I reflect upon the hell of fire and its dreadfulness and severity. The Holy Prophet told him, 1 hour of your contemplation is better than the worship of 70 years. It's Tafsir al-Bayan. Imam Jafar as-Sadid, as he said, quote, extensiveness in prayers and fasting is not the worship, rather extensiveness in the contemplation is true worship. So, apparently, forget all the bowing to Mecca, forgetting all the pulling out the prayer rug, having your patootis up in the air 5 times a day every day for 70 years. None of that is as good as if you can think about, for 1 hour, reflecting upon the hellfire and its dreadfulness and severity. It's better than that. Now, either that is true, or is that false? It's up to you to pick. But I tell you, I myself would think about the severity of hell for at least a week, rather than pulling out a prayer rug and bowing to Mecca 5 times a day every day for 70 years, like apparently this says is not as good. I mean, really, it's not as good to bow to Mecca as it is to think about the severity of hell for 1 hour. Unless that's false. But since it's in here, and it wasn't in the weak and fabricated versions of the hadith that mentioned the 1 hour deep contemplation, and it wasn't, and also speaking the truth in the front of a tyrant is the greatest jihad, That's supposed to be real hadith, you know. Hey, I think I just might have saved you 70 years of your life just by taking 1 hour of thinking about the severity of hell. Unless again that's false. But hey, I'll let you decide. Okay, bye.